Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a review and I'm going to be reviewing these. This is the Cleveland HB Launcher Turbo Irons. Now these are something a little bit different to like a normal iron. So they've got loads of like forgiveness down the back. I mean, look, this is a 7-iron and look how much you can see behind this club here. These are designed for game improvement irons, people who struggle to get the ball up in the air. Maybe people who struggle with speed, so they need that little bit of extra help to get the ball up. So the 7-iron is 30 degrees, which is not like excessive. It's a little bit stronger than normal. Sort of average is around about 34 degrees, 34 to 36. So these at 30 are in the ballpark of somewhere like a P790 or a Maverick Pro, something like that, somewhere around that kind of area, but not going as far as 25, 26, 27 degrees like some of the other clubs like the Mavericks and the Epic Forged and the Titleist T, is it the T100S or T400s, whichever one it is. I think it's the T400s. One of them's at like 26, 25 degrees for a 7-iron. So they're not excessively lofted. One thing I like is how forgiving it looks. It just looks so easy to hit. And I often think, why don't more people use clubs like these when they're easy to hit? And I think a lot of it, in fact, I think all of it, is probably down to ego. It's the old, do I want to turn up at the golf club looking with irons that look like that? Or do I want to turn up at the golf club with irons that look like a Titleist TMB or a Titleist MB or a Callaway MB or a Blade or like an Orca RS10, something that looks a little bit sexy? Or do I want to come and look like that? And the reason you don't go and play with something that looks like that is because it looks like that, whereas it could probably improve your game massively. So the way these work is the sort of the bit at the back progressively gets smaller or bigger depending on which way you go. So like 4-iron will be a little bit thinner, pitching wedge is a little bit thicker, and that's just designed to help you really. It's designed to aid you to get the ball up in the air and get a little bit more distance. I'm looking forward to hitting these in the simulator. I've had a few goes since they've come in. They've been in with a fitting kit for a while, but I've just sort of had a tinker. I've not really sat down and tried and got some data from them. At 30 degrees, it's somewhere near about where my 6-iron is, so I'd want this to be going 175-ish, I guess. But who knows, you know, will I get too much spin, will I get too much launch because of all this help at the back? It'll be interesting. But what do Cleveland say about these irons? So the actual head itself is hollow. It's completely hollow. There's no injection of foam or microspheres or builder's foam or anything like that. It's completely hollow. And it's got what they say is a fast face. So it's got HT1770M steel insert in the face here, and they're saying that it's got increased speeds across the face to make these irons truly turbocharged. I mean, it's just marketing spiel, isn't it? And that's more distance for you off every shot, and they've gone from fast to blinding. It's just marketing spiel, isn't it? It's probably just as fast as everything else, but these companies feel like, and I've got a good relationship with Cleveland Strixon, but these companies feel like they have to put in keywords when they're describing these irons. Instead of saying it's got a hollow face, we put a steel face in and we've made it faster. No, it's got to be blindingly fast for more distance, turbocharged. It's just a bit, do you know what I mean? Looks wise, it's okay. You know, I'm not keen on the paint that they've got here. It just looks a little bit cheap, and the black paint at the bottom, again, it just looks a little bit like someone's masked it off, which is probably what's happened, to be perfectly honest, and sort of painted in with a bit of a paintbrush. It's just the finish isn't amazing, but the bits that aren't painted look beautiful. You know, it's got a really, really thick top line. I mean, like excessively thick top line here, which is just exaggerated when you go down here. Underneath, it's quite stylish for what is quite a fairly cheap club in the grand scheme of things these days. You know, it's got turbo on the back here, what you can see. So it's quite stylish for what it is. It's just not for me. It's not something I'd game. Again, ego. I wouldn't play this because my ego says I can't turn up at the golf club with something like this. And it's a little bit too strong a lofted. I'm trying to get more traditional, I'm trying to get more control, more feel, whereas I think this, you'll probably end up with a little bit of inconsistencies with like front and rear, with dispersion when it comes to front and back. You're going to get some flyers off this face without a shadow of a doubt. Hollow face, stronger lofted, all that sort of centre of gravity at the bottom to help give you launch, you'll get flyers, and I don't like that. But if you're one of these people who struggle to get the ball up and struggle to get distance, this is perfect. I've fitted a few people into these already, and they were in the more senior category, and they loved it. They gained distance, they gained height, they gained spin because of it, because they're so easy to get up, and their games have improved no end. So I think that's its target audience, is people with no speed or seniors who just need that little bit of extra help. But we'll get into the simulator and we'll see how someone who has got quite a bit of speed, you know, I'm quite fast, and how they perform for me. So there's only really one thing left to do, and that's to get in the sim and let's whack some of these and see what kind of numbers we get. Right then, so the shaft I've put in this, I put the S300 shaft in because it's the stiffest one that I've got. The thing with the Clevelands, the fitting kit doesn't come with an X stiff shaft, so I've got the S300 in, which will be fine for this, so it'll be interesting to see where this goes. Down at the ball, this thing is massive. Like, this top line just looks ridiculously thick. They blacked this out so it kind of gives the edge of the top line a thinner profile, and they've also put like the satin ending before the end of the actual thickness of the top line, just to give it a little bit of a thinner profile. But when you get it up close, it is massive, and it just looks a lot like a hybrid, to be honest. It looks very, 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 very thick. That rounded edge at the bottom, it just looks like a hybrid, but I suppose it's how easy is it to hit is the question. That was a little bit out the toe. Not the greatest of strikes, but it's gone 159. 23 launch angle, which is fine. Spin 5.8 off a mat, which is perfectly acceptable. It's a little bit of a fade, really. Because it's like hybrid looking, it makes me feel like I want to fade it, because I always fade my hybrids and my woods. So that kind of doesn't give me the confidence I want with an iron, because it looks like a hybrid. I'll try to just hit that little bit drawier. Yeah, that's nice. It's a nice draw. So it's gone 168. 24 launch, low on spin. Oh look, I've made a McDonald's sign. Golden arches. Right. See if we can go after one a little bit. Yeah, went after that one. See what happens to that. Yeah, it's just a lovely high draw. Draws up 169, about 170 is where I said I'd want it to be, which is about where my 6 iron is. Really good spin, good launch at 24. To be honest, the launch is a little bit high, actually thinking it's a 30-degree club. But good spin, good speed. See if we can get that launch down a little bit more. Just trying to get that launch down, see if we can get it a little bit lower. Just launches, doesn't it? Ball just goes up in the air. Good shot, good spin. A little bit more down on speed, but I try to just take something off that. What I'm impressed with is the spin numbers. Because of the way it launches the ball up, the spin numbers are brilliant for a 7 iron. I'm just struggling to shape it how I want it, really. Just hit a normal shot. Yeah, it just climbs. Absolutely climb balls. Oof, I'm going to spin on that. A little bit low on the face, which would have helped get the spin up. These clubs aren't for me, but if you've got slow swing speed, these things are going to, like, we just try and hit like a normal slowish speed and see what kind of spin we get. Yeah, it just gets the ball up, it's lovely. That's just an easy swing, pulled it a little bit, 140, great spin, like 20 mile an hour down on the speed of what I would be at normally for ball speed. Still carried 143. This is a great club for people who struggle to get the ball up in the air. It just climbs. Peak heights are just going to be really, really high. I like to get about 30 to 35 yards of peak height. That's at 40 and carried 160. I'm really impressed with this club, to be honest. Not for me, not for a good player. I wouldn't suggest. It's too thick, too bulky, too game improvement-y. But for someone who's just getting into golf, senior player, someone who struggles with speed, this is a great little club. So there we have the HB Launcher Turbo. This was the 7.9 I was using, like I've said. So numbers, I had 121 ball speed, which is pretty good. So the face is fast. That's about my average. 162 carry is a little bit down on where I'd want it to be, considering it's a 30 degree. So I'd want it to be up around 170. Could get it out there, but the issue I had was it was just absolutely launching. But it's called a launcher, so it's doing what it's saying it's going to do. So given that, 162, spin 7,400, a little bit too high for me. Maybe shaft based, an S300 isn't the shaft for me, isn't the right shaft. But the big thing was the peak height was 40 yards. That was just ridiculously high. It was just ballooning up. But like I said when I was in the simulator, this club isn't designed for people like me. And if we look at the top line, like I was saying, if I slide it around, you can see a little bit of silver here. So it is thicker than it appears. And then this black bit, although they've tried to black it out so the top line does look thinner, it looks like a hybrid. And to me, this, when I've got this down, I just feel like I'm going to fade everything. And with an iron, I like to hit it straight or hit a draw, unless it's my 2-iron, which I like to hit a fade on. This just isn't for me. But if you're slow swing speed, you're a senior, you're just getting into golf and you want that help, more people should be going and having a look and getting fitted for a club like this. Put your ego to one side and think, do I want to play better golf? And if the answer is yes, go and try out something like this and give it a go. Because I think if I was just starting, or as I get a little bit older, these things are going to help me no end. So I'm going to give this a positive review. I like it, not for someone for my speed, my sort of standard, definitely not. Maybe if you want to go up you want a little bit of help with sort of 4-iron level, which would possibly be a 5 in this. It could work as a step up, as a one-off club. But for someone of sort of a decent standard to be using 7, 8, 9 pitching wedge in this, absolutely not. I'd be certainly going into a different club. And if you like Cleveland, they've got the UHX irons, which I'm going to review as well. But all in all, I was really impressed with it. I really liked it, just not for someone like me. So that's the end of that review. I've still got work to do. I'm currently editing Tavistock, ready for Monday when that gets released, so I've got to get that up and sorted. Got a few people in the simulator this afternoon, which is always good to see. And then I've got to go home and see Vicky. She's been at work all day, so I think it might be takeaway night, because I'm not going to want to cook when I get home. She's not going to want to cook when she gets home. So I'm feeling like a takeaway because I'm lazy, basically. So, going to leave this here for the now, and then we'll jump home and see what Vicky's up to. Babe, I've cooked dinner. Okay. And I packaged it up to keep it warm for you.
This is the guy who does professional YouTube videos.
Professional? That's a new word.
And he's using an oven mitt as a tripod.
It's not really good. Anyway, you've not commented on my dinner that I've made.
That's lovely, Dad. It's just what I wanted.
It's some authentic Chinese that I've made. Don't worry about the oven though. Just made you an authentic Chinese. I made you, what is this?
You should know. You made it, apparently.
Oh, that was it. I made you crispy chili beef.
Okay.
some bean sprouts, boiled rice, gross, and then I made us some mini vegetable spring rolls, chips and corn crackers, and then packaged it up with a little label on and everything.
Yeah, and there's literally no like washing up.
Yeah, because I did it when I got home. So I got home and cooked it, and then I packaged up, and then our microwave and ovens broke, so I took it up to the Chinese up the road to keep warm, and then I just...
Hey, wash out the way, wash out the way, wash out the way.
No. It's broken. No, listen, look, no. Ah, you've got to plug it in. You see, it wasn't plugged in. See, you broke it now, look, you're just pressing buttons. See, it's broke. Well, because it wasn't plugged, yeah, you're heating up nothing. Because it wasn't plugged in.
Oh, the oven's working.
Well, that's just because you know how to use it. So yeah, I took it up to the Chinese, and then I texted him and said, any chance you could just drop it round for me? Here it is. Don't think she believes me.
What's that?
Spell it. Wait, watch. I've got a magic cloth. You just put it over the top, and it goes in a minute. There we go. Look at that, magic cloth.
And this, guys, if anyone needs a really good tripod, is apparently amazing. So yeah, oven mitt from Dunelm, approximately £6. Makes a really good tripod.
Yeah, see, money saving with Victoria.